When I heard this story, okay, I feel for the parents of this 7-year-old little boy because I know they feel like they should be so protective over him. And yes, we should. I have a child in his 30s, and I'm going to always have that little bit of protection in me. I try to hide it, but it's a mother's instinct. It's a parent's instinct, but I can only, of course, speak from the mother's point of view. But it's our instinct to just want to protect children. And at this point, with me, it's any child. You don't even have to be my blood child. Anytime I see a child in a situation, I'm going to observe it. I am. I'm going to observe it because I feel this child may need me. And this is terrible what went on this school bus. Now, to my knowledge, it is a special needs school bus. And they're actually saying that Landy Doty, who's 15, his rehabilitation is beyond the scope of juvenile court. So he is getting charged as an adult. Now, there are cameras on this bus. And for several weeks, these cameras have been recording. And I'm pretty sure there were other students on that bus that have seen some things that were not looking that good. The 7-year-old boy, of course, he is unnamed. He's nonverbal. He does not speak. And he was being raped on this bus daily by a 15-year-old boy. He was being groped, as they say, hundreds of times. It was a monitor that saw Landon push this 17-year-old kid off his lap after doing Lord knows what. Landy Doty is documented to have behavioral issues. So again, to my knowledge, this bus is a bus that transports, children that have some type of special needs. And the fact that on April 17th, cameras recorded Doty pushing, again, the boy off his lap. The monitor before. Now, the cameras are going to do its job. It's recording. But they have a monitor on there as well. And the monitor told the bus driver to pull over after witnessing something that looked a little bit suspect going on in these seats. And then they summoned the school district. They were contacted afterwards. So he pretty much knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing to this child that could not speak, was really effed up. And I think he's so cunning and knew that this boy couldn't speak. I don't know how this boy communicates at home. I'm pretty sure how he communicates to his family may be a little bit different than how he communicates to his school. But it is so messed up that he could not express to his family that he was being sexually assaulted on this school bus daily. Like, did he show any kind of actions that he didn't want to go to school or he didn't want to sit next to this kid? I mean, oh my gosh, this boy was seriously in like a silent hell. This kid was in a silent hell. Man, I was so disgusted when I heard this story. Doty is charged with RAPE, compelled by force, RAPE, against a mentally disabled individual, child molestation, battery, criminal confinement of an individual younger than 14, and public indecency. He remains in jail without bond. Now, in another article, I read that he did get a bond that was set for $25,000. I don't know if he's been released. Because if they pay a certain amount, it would be like $2,500 if I'm correct. But he does have a bond, according to one of the articles I read now, for $25,000. His trial is scheduled for October 20th. I mean, he's 15. So what are they going to do? Hold him somewhere until he's 18? Well, they did say it's beyond what the juvenile court can do. But this is what an article is saying. This is not what, I don't see a court saying that exactly. So I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to hold him to his 18, hold him to his 21, or they're going to just charge him as an adult now, which is 10 years. So when he get out, he's 25, still young, but he knew what he was doing. And he took advantage of a child. he's a child too, but he took advantage of a child that he knew had a different special need than he was. He knew that this boy was not speaking, was not talking, probably barely communicated. He knew this and he took full advantage of it. I wonder, was there any other children on that bus that may have been subjected to anything by him? Maybe, oh God, maybe he just attacked this one child here. Okay, so Doty had an initial hearing on Monday, June 16th, and his grandmother was in attendance, and the alleged 7-year-old victim's parents were also in attendance. So yes, his bond is still set for $25,000 in cash. He's being currently held at the Jennings County Jail. He was previously held at the Juvenile Detention Center in Clark County. And again, he's being scheduled for an October 20th trial date. So according to the court documents, the victim suffers from moderate to severe autism and is nonverbal. So this baby was in a silent hell. He couldn't. And I know it has to be a way that he communicates with his family. But in children that are not autistic and they form as what we say is normal, right? They have a hard time to tell, their family that something of a sexual sinister thing has happened to them. They have a hard time doing it. So I can only imagine what this little boy who does not communicate well, what he was going through. We have other students on this bus. We have a monitor on this bus, a whole nother person. We have a bus driver, and we have cameras. And still Landy Doty was doing this to this little boy hundreds of times, hundreds of groping and touching. Then he got to the point where he's sitting this little boy on his lap. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, you guys, I'm sorry. This is just awful. So I hope this little 7-year-old boy gets justice. I'm glad that they are doing this to the max, that Landy is going to be put in a adult situation. I'm so glad. He was doing adult things. He needs to be in an adult situation because he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was taking full advantage of this little boy. I imagine this little boy is probably small. I'm just saying Doty is very big. So I imagine that this little kid is way smaller than him. This is terrible. Laura Swafford, an attorney for the young boy's family, said there were 2 more incidents that happened in April. So they do know about this. The family knows a little bit more. When Doty was in process of being taken into the custody and sitting in the police car, he said, quote, "I'm basically screwed," unquote. The transporting officer told him that he can't talk about it yet and proceeded to take him to the police station. Court documents by the juvenile probation officer that recommended Doty be waived to adult court and said that his conduct that he saw was the worst that he had seen in his 39-year career of juvenile probation officer. Wow. He was calculated and he knew what he was doing. That is what the court documents say. I agree. He was very calculated. The family is devastated. They want answers. They have lots of questions. Still, what remains unanswered, and they want to bring awareness to this so that it does not happen to another child, not only in Jennings County, but throughout the state. Because, when one thing happens in other states, I always say it's mirrored. I can pull up articles that's happening in another state with a whole set of different people, different races, all kinds of stuff. It just never, ever freaking stops. It will never stop. Unfortunately, it will never stop. The victim is nonverbal special education student who was improperly seated directly next to a much older 15-year-old student and was helplessly left unmonitored by 2 school employees who were on the bus and charged with caring for his safety. The video camera footage later downloaded from inside the bus shows that on multiple occasions, the victim was sexually assaulted and raped, but neither the corporation's bus driver nor the extra bus monitor employee did anything to stop the assaults. So do not tell me that this bus driver and this person who's a monitor seen some stuff and didn't stop it until the last minute. Oh my God. Ugh. Horrible. Horrible. On April 25th, the Jennings County School Corporation released a statement saying in part, quote, "We assure you that the safety and well-being of our students is our priority. We have responded by reviewing and increasing our safety protocols. We are also working closely with authorities to address the situation. We realize that our community would like the detailed information about the event, but at this time, we must make sure that we do not hinder the police investigation," end quote. Well, that's pretty much all for now. I'm pretty sure there'll be some more going on about this case, or they'll just keep it quiet until his court date is October 21st. I'm glad they're speeding shit along. That's one thing I can say. They're speeding shit along. I don't know if the boy has been released, but yeah, this is nasty. This is really nasty that this little boy had to endure this for so long. You know, he's going to school to be around his peers and to learn, but yet he's being raped. And it took somebody to finally look and say, you know, remove them and call the school. It took so long. This boy was suffering for so long. Justice for this little boy.